You want to know why you're still stuck? It's not because you're unlucky. It's not because you lack time, money, or connections. It's not because the world is unfair, though it often is. You're stuck because deep down, you're still waiting for permission. You're still waiting for someone to come along and tell you, you're ready now, go. You've suffered enough, rise. You've earned it, take what's yours. But no one is coming. No signal, no sign, no miracle. Because the truth is, you were never supposed to wait. The door was never locked. You just never turned the handle. And if that shakes you, good. Because that discomfort, that sting of realization, that's the beginning. People spend their lives building castles in their minds. They dream, they plan, they rehearse, but they never step in. They worship vision boards and wish lists, but forget the only altar that works is sweat, faith, and fire. Look around you at the world's makers, shapers, and legends. Do you think Henry Ford waited for approval before revolutionizing transportation? Did Thomas Edison ask the world if he was allowed to fail 10,000 times to bring us the light bulb? Number. They moved not because they could, but because they must. The truth no one wants to tell you is that staying stuck is a choice. It may be buried under trauma, fear, generational doubt. But at the end of the day, your life is built from decisions. And indecision is a decision. You say you want freedom, but you cling to routine. You say you want wealth, but you think like a beggar. You say you want greatness, but you play not to lose instead of playing to win. And here's the hardest truth. Some part of you is comfortable in the stuckness. Because stuck means safe. Stuck means familiar. Stuck means you never have to test your limits and risk the pain of discovering you were never who you thought you were. But hear me. Stuck is not a place, it's a story. And the story can be rewritten the moment you decide you are the author. Right now, your mind is a battlefield, and the enemy isn't out there. It's the voice inside that whispers, you're not good enough, not smart enough, not special enough. That voice, that's not you. That's programming. Planted by parents who were afraid, teachers who played it safe, a society that feeds on mediocrity. You were born with fire. You were born to build, not just survive. But over time, that flame got smothered by conformity. And now here you are, staring at a world of possibility through the bars of your own belief system. But listen, beliefs are not truths. They're just repeated thoughts wrapped in emotion. They can be replaced. They must be replaced. Because if you don't reprogram your mind, the world will do it for you. Let's talk about belief. Belief isn't passive. It's not a wish you whisper into the wind. It's a declaration, a fire-forged contract with your future. It's standing in the mirror, eyes fierce, and saying, I am not what I've been through. I am not my past. I am what I choose to become. Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But too many people stop at the conceive. They read the books, watch the videos, post the quotes, but they don't believe. And belief without action is just fantasy. You want to get unstuck? Then first, you must believe that staying stuck is not your destiny. You were not born to tread water. You were born to walk on it. But belief alone isn't enough. You need clarity, the kind that slices through the fog of confusion like a sword. Because vague goals produce vague results. And you can't hit a target you can't see. So stop saying, I want more money. Say, I will earn $100,000 doing what I love by next summer. Stop saying, I want to be healthier. Say, I will train 5 days a week, fuel my body like an athlete, and become unrecognizable in 6 months. Stop being poetic. Be precise. Clarity is the birthplace of momentum. Walt Disney didn't just dream of making cartoons. He imagined an entire empire of magic characters, worlds, joy, and hope. He saw it so clearly, he convinced a world to see it too. If your dream is blurry, your energy will be scattered. and scattered energy is the death of execution. And yet, even with belief and clarity, you'll find yourself hesitating. Why? Because you haven't found your why, your purpose, your reason that burns hotter than fear. Do you know why most people quit halfway? Because their why isn't bigger than their pain. And when pain comes, and it will, they run. But when your purpose is deep enough, pain becomes fuel. Purpose is what lets a single mother work 3 jobs to raise champions. It's what turned a rejected author named J.K. Rowling into a billionaire. It's what kept Martin Luther King Jr. marching when bullets and threats filled every street. Purpose is what transforms ordinary into immortal. And you can't borrow it. You can't fake it. You find it in struggle, in silence, in stillness. You find it when you strip away the noise and ask, what would I still do if I knew I might fail? What would I still fight for even if the world laughed at me? When your purpose is clear, discipline becomes desire. Discipline is not a punishment, it's a gift. It's the path out of chaos. It's showing up when no one's watching. It's building bricks in silence for a palace no one believes in yet. Look at any empire. Amazon, Tesla, Apple, all built by fanatics of discipline. Elon Musk didn't build rockets because it was easy. He did it because the vision demanded a man who refused to sleep, refused to lose, refused to stop. And you? You keep starting and stopping, and wondering why nothing changes. Let me be blunt. Success doesn't come to those who dabble. It comes to those who commit, to those who bleed for the mission, to those who choose one mountain and climb it in storm or sun. But all the belief, clarity, purpose, and discipline in the world are still worthless if you don't act. Not plan, not prepare, not perfect. Act. Now, before you feel ready, before you have all the answers, before you're confident, because confidence doesn't come before action, it comes from action. You build it in motion, in battle, in movement. So many are waiting to feel motivated before they begin. But motivation is a byproduct, not a prerequisite. What matters is momentum. One phone call, one cold shower, one early morning, one finished page. That's how giants are made in the invisible, boring, brutal moments no one claps for. And let me tell you something else no one will. You won't feel like doing it most days. And that's okay. Because greatness is not built on feeling. It's built on standards. Your feelings don't decide your future, your decisions do. You want to get unstuck? Then make a vow, not a wish, not a goal. A vow that you will not die with your potential still locked inside you. That you will not be a monument of what could have been. That you will not be another name buried under excuses. And the moment you make that vow, the world changes. Because the moment you commit with your soul, the universe bends. Opportunities arrive. Doors appear. Not because they weren't there before, but because you were finally ready to see them. You see, there's a current beneath the surface of this world, a current that doesn't move for the passive, the hesitant, the half-hearted. It flows for the bold, for the committed, for the ones who show the world their scars and say, "This is where I bled, and I'm still standing." You want your life to change? Then change how you move through the world. Not as someone hoping to be chosen, but as someone who chooses themselves every damn day. That means you don't chase things. You become the kind of person that things chase. Love doesn't come when you beg for it. It comes when you radiate self-respect, like sunlight. Opportunities don't fall from the sky. They respond to your aura of certainty. Because when you walk like your future is inevitable, the world adjusts around you. But if you keep shrinking to fit into places you've outgrown, if you keep surrounding yourself with people who don't challenge your complacency, then don't act surprised when life feels like it's caging you in. You're stuck, not because you lack potential, but because you keep entertaining distractions dressed as comfort. Discomfort is the compass. It's not the enemy, it's the clue. If your dreams don't scare you, they're not dreams, they're maintenance plans. Think about this. A seed is buried before it blooms. A diamond is crushed before it shines. A sword is forged in fire before it draws blood. So why do you think your path should be gentle? You were not built for gentle. You were built for war, spiritual, emotional, financial, internal war. The war between who you've been and who you're meant to become. But becoming demands sacrifice. Sacrifice of laziness. Sacrifice of comfort. Sacrifice of your addiction to being liked, being safe, being understood. Abraham Lincoln was hated by half a nation when he refused to back down. Martin Luther King Jr. was jailed before he was praised. Every soul who changed the world first stood alone in the storm. So if you're feeling alone, if you're standing on the edge of uncertainty, good. That means you're closer to transformation than ever before. But transformation has a cost. Your old identity. You have to be willing to set fire to the version of you that survived. So the version that thrives can rise from the ashes. Do not mourn your past. Do not romanticize the pain. You are not your history. You are the author of your next breath, your next thought, your next decision. People say, I'm doing my best. But are you really? Or are you doing what's comfortable? Because there's a difference between effort and excellence. Excellence is when you refuse to leave the gym until the work is done. When you refuse to speak another word of self-doubt. When you refuse to lower your standards even when no one is watching. Muhammad Ali didn't count his sit-ups. He said, I only start counting when it starts to hurt. That's where growth begins, not at the beginning, but when it burns. And here's the thing. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need all the resources. You need resourcefulness, the unshakable belief that you can figure it out along the way. Every empire was once an idea scribbled in a notebook. Every master was once a disaster who refused to quit. You can't wait for everything to align. You align yourself, and the rest follows. And while you're out here grinding, stumbling, bleeding forward, don't forget the one power that will keep your soul lit when the world goes dark. Gratitude. Yes, gratitude. Not the soft, cliché kind that gets tossed around like confetti. I'm talking about the kind of gratitude that grounds you in the storm, that reminds you of your breath when anxiety tightens your chest, that sees failure and whispers, thank you, I'm learning. You're not entitled to anything. Not success, not love, not ease, but you are entrusted with this life, this one life. And gratitude is the anchor that keeps you humble when you rise and keeps you hopeful when you fall. Even now, even here, you have something to be thankful for. A mind that still questions, a heart that still beats, a voice in your chest screaming, I am not done yet. So how do you keep going when it feels like nothing is working? How do you rise when you failed again and again and again? Adapt. Bend, but don't break. The oak tree that stands rigid in the storm is uprooted. But the bamboo, it bows, then rises taller than ever. Life will not hand you the path. It will throw you into the forest. Your job is not to demand a trail. Your job is to become the machete. Cut through doubt. Cut through fear. Cut through everything they told you that you are not. Because your destiny isn't waiting, it's watching. Watching to see if you will act worthy of it. And when you fall, and you will, don't just rise. Rise wiser. Don't curse the fall. Study it. Pain is the professor that never sugarcoats the lesson. Every scar has a story. Every mistake is a message. If you learn, you win. If you repeat, you remain. Too many people collect knowledge like trophies. They read, listen, watch, but they don't apply. Learning is nothing without embodiment. Bruce Lee said, knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. And that's the difference between the few who ascend and the many who stay stuck. The few take what they learn and become it, not just in public, in private, not just when inspired, especially when uninspired. Because inspiration is a spark, but identity is the flame that never dies. You don't rise by changing what you do. You rise by changing who you are. So the next time you're tempted to scroll, to procrastinate, to play it safe, ask yourself, is this who I'm becoming? Does this align with the future I claim I want? Because if your habits don't match your hopes, you're living a lie. And that lie, it's costing you your life. You can fake progress on the outside. You can post, you can smile, you can talk about your goals and how you're manifesting, but your soul knows the truth. Your reflection knows. And at night, when the world goes quiet, the lie echoes louder than anything else. But here's the miracle. The truth can set you free if you're brave enough to face it. Face the ways you've betrayed your own greatness. Face the time you wasted waiting for approval. Face the mornings you hit snooze on your potential. And then forgive yourself. Not to escape accountability, but to clear the rubble so you can build again. Self-forgiveness is not weakness. It's strength. It's strategy. It's oxygen. You can't climb if you're carrying shame. You can't fly if guilt is holding the rope. So let it go. All of it. Every regret. Every mischance. They were teachers, not life sentences. The only way out is forward, not through punishment, but through power. You want to know what power looks like? It's not loud. It's not arrogance. It's not flexing on social media. Power is quiet repetition. Power is doing the thing today and tomorrow and the next day when no one sees. Power is consistency, when motivation dies and the applause disappears. Look at the greats. Serena Williams didn't become a legend by practicing only when she felt good. Steve Jobs didn't reinvent industries by doing the bare minimum. They made discipline a lifestyle. They made obsession holy. And you? You keep negotiating with your goals. You keep asking, what's the minimum I can do today and still feel okay about myself? But success doesn't speak the language of minimums. It responds to standards. And until your standards rise higher than your excuses, you will stay exactly where you are. You weren't born to coast. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to break patterns, to set fire to mediocrity, to redefine what's possible in your bloodline. And yes, that comes with weight, responsibility, pressure. But pressure is not the enemy. Pressure is a privilege. Pressure creates diamonds. Pressure reveals character. Stop resenting the struggle. Start earning your transformation. Every day, you are presented with two paths. The easy road, comfort, compromise, excuses. The hard road, sacrifice, growth, alignment. The easy road is crowded. It's loud. It's popular. The hard road, it's lonely. At first, but at the end of that road is you. The real you. The version you were always meant to become. So, I ask you, who are you when no one's watching? What do you stand for when standing costs you everything? What do you choose when choosing hurts? That's where the shift happens. Not in the glory, in the grit. Not when you feel like it, but when your soul says do it anyway. And if you've fallen before good, that means you tried. That means you're human. But stop romanticizing the fall. Rise. And this time, rise with intention. Rise with direction. Rise with urgency. Because you don't have forever. You have now. And now is not just a moment. It's your arena, where warriors are made, where dreams are tested, where the average quit and the destined ignite. And if you still feel stuck, ask yourself, what story am I still telling myself that keeps me here? Because everything you do is a reflection of the story you believe. If you believe you're the underdog, you'll sabotage success. If you believe you're unworthy, you'll reject love. If you believe you're broken, you'll repel healing. So rewrite the story. Burn the old script. Draft a new narrative with blood, sweat, and conviction. You are not too late. You are not too old. You are not too far gone. You are becoming. Right here, right now. With every breath, every step, every fight. You don't need to prove yourself to the world. Prove yourself to yourself. Every time you show up when it's hard, that's proof. Every time you choose growth over gossip, that's proof. Every time you say no to distraction and yes to destiny, that's proof. Stack those moments like bricks until the walls around your potential come crashing down. Until the ceiling becomes the floor. Until you look in the mirror and say, there you are, finally, because you were never really stuck. You were just waiting for the real you to wake up. And now, that version is rising. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. So rise. But don't rise with noise. Rise with certainty. The kind of certainty that doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't check the mirror for validation. It walks into the room and changes the temperature because it knows who it is. That's your new job now. To become unshakable, not perfect, not untouchable, unshakable. When rejection knocks, you don't crumble, you recalibrate. When life slams a door, you build a window. When fear screams, run, you stand taller. Because you know something most people forget. Fear is loudest before the breakthrough. The storm always rages before the sky clears. And pain? Pain is the gatekeeper to power. You think pain is the punishment, but pain is the invitation. It's life's way of stripping you down to your truth. It doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to demand that you decide. Do you want comfort or do you want change? You can't have both. Want to know the truth no one posts on Instagram? Healing hurts. Growth is ugly. Transformation is a war between who you are and who you refuse to be anymore. It's nights alone. It's crying on the floor with no answers and still standing up the next morning. It's failing again and loving yourself anyway. Not because it's easy, but because you refuse to abandon yourself again. That's the new vow. Never abandon yourself again. Not for approval. Not for love. Not for comfort. Not for the illusion of safety. You are your home. You are your foundation. And if the world around you collapses, you will rebuild brick by honest brick. That's what it means to be truly free. Freedom isn't in the bank account. It isn't in the beach vacations or the dream job. Freedom is when nothing owns you. Not fear, not failure, not even success. Because the truth is, success is its own kind of trap. It seduces you into stopping, into softening, into protecting what you have instead of pursuing who you're meant to be next. But you are not here to arrive. You are here to evolve, endlessly. So burn the finish line. There is none. Only the next mountain, the next layer, the next version of you calling from the edge. And if you listen closely, you'll hear it. A voice not outside you, but within. The voice that says, you were never average. You were never ordinary. You were chosen by life itself to break the cycle. That cycle ends with you. The silence ends with you. The self-betrayal ends with you. The excuses, the fear, the generational patterns, all of it ends when you decide it does. Not when the timing's perfect. Not when you feel brave. Now. Right now. And if you think this is just about success or money or goals, you've missed the point. This is about freedom of the soul. This is about reclaiming the fire they tried to smother when you were too young to fight back. This is about walking back into your story, looking that younger version of you in the eyes and saying, I didn't forget, I'm here now, and we're getting out. This is not self-help. This is self-rescue. And if no one ever told you this before, hear it now. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not behind. You are in motion, and you are not too late. You're right on time for the life that's been waiting for you to stop playing small. So here's your line in the sand. Here's your moment. No fanfare, no audience, just you and a decision. Will you keep living the story they wrote for you? Or will you write your own name in the fire? Because the pen is in your hand. The ink is your action. And the page is today. Write something worthy of the fire in your chest. Write something worthy of the struggle that shaped you. Write something worthy of the legacy that refuses to die quietly inside you. No more waiting. No more doubting. No more shrinking. You are not stuck. You are summoned. Now move.